ladies and gents, to the ESL Katowice Royale and game 1 of the day and round 8 of the tournament certainly did not disappoint. It's beautiful. It's set up so well for the rest of the day. We still don't know what's going to happen, and we're excited to get into more action as the day continues. But before we get into that, let's have another look at one of our players in the tournament. This time it's Nate Hill.
We were just casually playing at the time, and all of a sudden we're #1 on the leaderboard, and we're kind of like, what's this all about? And then you run into pro players in regular games. You're like, wait, why are they so good, and why can't I do that? And you kind of just gotta give it a shot. How would I describe my play style? I am usually pretty strategic. I try to get to late game without getting into too many fights to avoid third parties, and kind of positioning. My biggest strength, I think, is turtling like turtle wars like kind of being weird in all these different kinds of builds and sort of unpredictability. Maybe a weakness would be finding a consistent spot with a lot of loot. The most important aspect of Fortnite, I think, is adaptability, because they change the game every week and the metas change without much notice at all, really. How do you practice become a better Fortnite player is you better be playing at least 8 hours a day, playing aim trainers, playing creative, and playing pubs and scrims, all kinds of different things, watching other professionals and kind of taking in all of that and putting it together.
There we go then, gentlemen. Nate Hill there. Fantastic to hear from him. Very humble in what he's saying, and giving some good advice to some young aspiring players. We should say we've had a little bit of a change on desk. Change in position for you, Baller. Congratulations, you've made it to the end. And in the middle there,
is that a promotion?
Jason
or?
Kaplan. Hey man, we're all trying to get into end zone, right? Okay, anyway. And Jason Kaplan joining us in the middle. Great to have you here. Any takeaways from that interview from Nate Hill there for you? Because unpredictability was something we haven't heard too much from the pros so far.
I think we had an example of that when he was right on the edge with Boyer and Kripa. He was in a box right on the side of zone. The zone was coming, and he just waited and waited. Boyer was waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden pops out. Boyer actually is like, he's not coming out, I guess. And that's the unpredictability we're talking about.
For me, it was the adaptation he was talking about. Because the thing is, he talked about in-game, obviously, with the new items, with patches coming out, every so often. For me, though, it goes beyond just the game alone. It goes on to the tournament. We've had a 2-day tournament here. It's about adapting your playstyle, adapting maybe your drop spots, maybe adapting of who you want to gun for early on to potentially make your way up in the rankings. So adaptation is such a key factor when it comes to playing in any esport.
And one thing that's interesting to me as well to keep in note for a lot of these players as well is, yes, we have a lot of games, right? We have 14 games, but these games are starting to really slip away. We're in round 9 now.
Yeah.
I mean, after this game, we've only got 5 more rounds to go. And if you think about it in the grand context of things, we are getting pretty close to the end of this tournament. So now is the time, we were talking about it yesterday, when you can't make mistakes. You have to perform in these games. Who do you think are the duos at the moment that need to have these big games, and they need to have them now?
I think anyone outside of maybe top 7, top 8, because the differential between those teams and the teams below them is getting so big that even with Izza and Camo getting that massive victory of 13 eliminations at the 2nd place, they're still unable to break the top 10.
Well, it looks like round number 9 is ready. We're getting straight into this one. The crowd have been fantastic today as well, so keep that up, guys. Gentlemen, it's over to you.
So, Bala, I want to start things off talking about something we've seen in this game, and in particular in the last match alone. Storm Surge. It took out so many people on initial get-go. We had about 90-something left, I think, coming into like the 2nd or actually into the 3rd zone. Yeah. We saw the Brazilians, Fall and History, both go down to that alone. And it's making you adapt your playstyle quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely affecting a lot of players. There's so many players up the entire time. You can see still nothing going down. You usually see 150-50. And for now, SSK and Jamside again. Looks like they're getting this uncontested, but now Issa and Camo as well. Dropping at Shifty. I didn't see anybody else. Ooh, Zexro and Vinny are already in an engagement. We saw Aim Hero and Faxfox push them off last time. And Zexro and Aim Hero are actually in the same building. So this is unconventional. Aim Hero dropped in the front. Zexro dropped in the back. Zexro is going to back off into Vinny. But this time they have shield. And this time Faxfox and Aim Hero don't have it. And he has the pump shotgun. This is a completely different situation than we saw last game.
Well, hopefully for them, it'll be a different situation of how it turned out. And as you pointed out, they did lose that knock exchange in the end of things. But I like seeing this. I like seeing people contest them because they know Vinny is so far ahead with Zexro that they need someone to challenge out on them to kind of bring them back, maybe eliminate them earlier on.
Yeah.
But so far, not really much action happening between the two, at least in terms of shooting, as everyone's just trying to farm up here.
Yeah. You can see Camo and Issa uncontested at Shifty. SSK7 uncontested over towards Paradise. And this fight, we'll see, it's starting to become a little bit of a pinch here. Different angles from Aim here and FaxFox. This is exactly how you want to start the fight off, especially as they start taking that Viking boat. But again, they could back out at any moment. No, they're stuck. This time they're stuck. Nice trade shots there from FaxFox and Zexro.
Like you said before, they need to push this pretty much at the same time if they can hope to pick up an elimination here. A lot of would be picked up for Vinny and Zexro if they want to farm away on the ship. They're just trying to stay alive, and speaking of staying alive, their builds is running out.
And this is an awkward position there. You can see Vinny was frantically trying to get, oh, actually Zexro going on to FaxFox. Aim here again, their pinching is so good. The positional play from the Koreans is absolutely very good here at Viking Hill to start off.
You see, though, Vinny's able to escape. Zexro as well able to transition to the building. Again, while all this fighting's happening, they're not able to farm mats, they're not able to farm weapons, and they're starting to struggle because they're lost their shield for the most part. Zexro's the only one with it left.
Again,
Vinny.
The pinch. FaxFox uses that glider redeploy to get the pinch continue to go, and I was talking about how good they are, but Zexro and Vinny keep escaping the pinch, which is so good from them.
You have to be careful, though, if you're the two Koreans, FaxFox and Aim Hero, to not push at the wrong time. Also to push in together if they can, trying to go for the replacements, the wall here, trying to catch out this duo that's been leading the charge over the course of the entire first day, and they're just stuck. Their builds, they have almost nothing left. The weapons as well, they're starting to run out of some ammo here. But then again, so are the sides up top here as they're down to 4 builds left for FaxFox.
You can see Aim here in the background was farming. As any time he gets the opportunity, if they're not pushing, they're going to farm. And that's exactly what you need, especially because it could come down to one wall making the difference here. Now more trades going in, but FaxFox gets an ankle.
He's got 1 build left. He can only cover his high ground for a little bit longer, and that's going to be him now out of the equation. Actually, both players. So the leaders here so far after 8 rounds are going to be out in one of the first duos eliminated. So now that means every other player, if they know those 2 are gone, they're going to be gunning for those top positions.
Yeah. So 429 now, that's where they're going to stay in the standings.
Let me ask you a question, Bala. If you're Vinny and Zexro, you dropped there last time you got contested. You know you're in the lead and you know you cannot afford to lose early on. Do you change your drop? Or do you continue to go there expecting to win?
If I was them, I would have changed my drop yesterday.
Okay, so going even one step further.
Going into this day, I would have said, hey, I know there's people who are going to be doing this gunning for us, but Nick Merckx and Aiden in tilted. Actually, Aiden in a precarious position down below. Oh, no, actually, did he? He's actually on high ground all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He was down below in the brick building, but no, he takes it on to go.
The thing is, we talk about the pinch move, the pincer move, but you also have to be very careful of how the enemy team's being aggressive against you. If they turn around and go in one direction at the same time, like they could do to Nick Merckx here, you can get punished. Nick Merckx has been downed here by Miz.
So dangerous. That dynamite going to great effect, kind of showing everything, and now Aiden into his own box. He's so good from these positions, though, when his back is against the wall and he has all the cover in the world.
Yeah, but can he do it against 2 is going to be the question now. This should be a fight that the 2 Go boys should be able to win.
We've seen him do crazier things before, and there's the good start, down to 29.
He's got the opportunity to heal here, and I feel like that's maybe what you want to go for. Have your teammate cover you. Actually, Jules is going to be down here. Don't tell me Aiden's going to be able to pick up this 1v2 after losing on his teammate. He gets the first. Now, he boxes himself up here to buy a little bit more time to figure out where Miz is going to be. And Miz will still have this high ground position.
Aiden now taking a little bit of time to actually shield up a little bit more over the 50 HP he got for the elim. It's all down to 1v1. Aiden has put himself in such a great position.
Let's see, Miz is looking for the shot. Nice to build up as well, looking for a great little placement out of his opponent here to block a shot, but he's still able to maintain the high ground. And considering you're in a 1v2, you should be losing the situation 9 times out of 10, and yet Aiden's been able to fight his way out consistently, but he won't fight out this time as Miz will clean that one up and get his second elimination, but he's lost his partner.
That was so close there for Aiden. He almost hit that shot. I was so excited for him getting that first elim. He picked up the materials as well. But it's not going to go his way. Nick Merckx and Aiden go down early and tilted.
The thing is, the formats do change. Again, talking about adapting your play style, whether it's in the game or for a tournament. And we're starting to see those players start to adapt how they go into this, because eliminations being worth 5 points each, so much different than the standard, checkpoints you do hit in the previous tournaments we have seen. But We're going to see the Renegade boys still alive. I just want to point out one more time that at the start of actually Game 8, Fawn history, because this is the Brazilian combo that we've been seeing perform really well, they had 4 legendaries within the first circle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they got eliminated to Storm Surge, and that's that subtle balance, right, of looting versus shooting early on to make sure you're not going to take that damage later on from the Storm Surge.
Oh, and this is different from the other Korean duo, Envy and Sinu. They actually chase off Mirwana and his teammate Include. I think he might be down already. He's looking for more. Envy is out of Sunny Steps.
Oh, he's got a chug too.
Back to him, though. Envy can take some shots here. Just barely. He does get that first shot.
8 builds left to go. Are they going to chase this? I feel like you almost kind of... Well, you don't really need to necessarily. He's so low on HP, but...
He doesn't chase him. Somebody else is going to find
exactly.
this. Only 23. He's got to find a way to pull off this chug jug. I would maybe box up even. He doesn't know that Envy actually backed off, but now the X2 twins on to Keolis and Maxaliber, but they have drift boards. They're going to try to be getting away. They have to have Rift to go as well. Yeah, they're making the way towards the circle, and we're actually seeing more of a northeast circle this time compared to the southwest we saw.
I really wanted to see them charge them with the drift boards and pick up those eliminations somehow, to catch them off guard, but instead playing the safe game. Like you said, backing away, looking to fight another day. And yet, after 8 rounds now, we still have yet to have repeat winners over the course of this duo tournament. Gemside and SSK7 as well, 2 players we have to keep an eye on over the course of this rest of the day.
Kuna and Mitro onto BloodX and Zipon here, trying to take some shots. Mitro actually stays back while he takes shots, and Kuna continues to chase, so that's really nice there from them. It's going to be able to give Kuna a good position as they go into the next, and Zayt actually takes out Zipon from the sky. Zayt over towards somewhere else, and you can see Kuna hot on his tail there. You see he ends it. It's going to be credit for Zayt. Nothing good for Kuna except for that. Oh my goodness. He's so low still. BloodX could go down as well.
That has to be Zayt going for the tags. We see Little J. Looks like he's lost out on Zero, his teammate. Actually, no, Zero was still alive over to the side. Kripa and Boyer, another duo that we've been really focusing on here in the storm, using the campfire to heal up as well.
This is so
Boyer,
rough.
so they're both able to stay alive during this.
This is so rough. In the storm, again, Kripa and Boyer, sometimes this occurs. They have that launch pad, though, but they're split, so they can't use it together. You saw him use that campfire already, but Little J's going to go down to the zone in 2 seconds here. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the Elim, but they do group up and they can launch pad out. Hopefully, there's heals somewhere on the ground for Kripa. Otherwise, they're going to be doing a chain revive all the way to zone. And now Aspect and Animal on to Llama and Rizart.
Klinger's coming through. Llama's going to be forced to disengage here as he does get dropped down. Again, Animal and Aspect, I saw them win round 5 yesterday.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Got to be careful here, Retail Row. They do have a lot of mobility. They want to be able to use that mobility towards the end game, and look who's in the back of them. Jamside and 7SSK7. I was going to talk about their loadouts. They have a massive, they have launch pad and a rift to go, and that's what you get when you get Paradise completely uncontested. And Boyer, unfortunately, who worse to find on the edge of zone than Provoked and Tux.
And this should be a relatively easy limb. They do get the knock, and they're going to get the finish.
Kripa's still up somewhere.
Yeah. So at least they keep the hope alive here for the 11 guys. But Provoked Tux, another duo that did win in our round number 4 yesterday. We've seen a lot of those players, a lot of the people who have got these Victory Royales, able to play consistently over the course of these last 2 days now.
Yeah. One of the issues there, we saw the situation in zone. They didn't actually, maybe didn't use that launch pad, but Kripa was nowhere to be found, and that's because he had a little bit more HP, and he could stay out, loot a little bit more, and come later. So Boyer went on ahead, and Kripa was nowhere to be found next to him, so you couldn't help him out in that engagement there.
See the Spanish org of Giants with Alito and Isma up against Jamsad and 7SSK7.
This fight isn't going anywhere, but interesting to note they are posting up next to that volcanic vent that was added to that RV station there. There's the duo you're talking about. History and Fa already opening with the clingers. That's what you want to do when you start pushing somebody, is keep them occupied while you start pushing and taking a position that you want.
The thing is, Camo and Issa are going to be flanking him from behind them, so the pincer move is going to be coming. But then again, History and Fa could be flanked from their northern side as well. So it looks like both these teams just going to back away, again, realizing this is a little bit too risky to force any sort of fight just now.
On the end of that second zone, you start to be way more concerned with, especially in a lobby this stacked, in the lobby where 90 people are probably still up. You can't, 86, you can't take engagements. Adds the second circle close. It's just too much.
It looks like Fax Fox and Aim Hero did actually just back off and weren't able to get the eliminations over on
oh my goodness, Kinstar on the second owner.
going for the battle for the high ground. Now he's actually get blocked off here. Kinstar won't be able to get into this position. He still has the bush, though, to eat one of those shots. Sakoner on such low HP. Can these clingers potentially finish him off? Looks like they will not be able to land here just yet, but look how healthy Hunter and Kinstar are.
Oh, but Kinstar finds Scram, and that's the issue. Sakoner's so low. He's backing off, and Scram is by himself now in a 1v2. Sakoner is nowhere to be able to help.
I like that stink bomb, though. It interrupts the extra 50 shield trying to be applied. Again, coming through the clingers as well to be used. And he just cannot get a break. Scram can't get a second to think here to get some sort of health back into this, some sort of semblance of control in this fight.
Now Scram down below. He tried to shield up a little bit, but no, actually Scram was the other one. Jamside and SSK7 picking up Vialanen and a Rift. And Windwalker, obviously. That's 2 elims for them, but what a great position they have going in the end game.
Actually surprised to see Scram and Sakoner with the situation they were in, with the health they had to actually survive for this long. But again, taking their time here, Hunter and Kinstar, Myth and Cloud able to eliminate the G2 guys of X8 and Razaru.
It's actually a 2v2 between the X2 twins and the G2 boys, and Razaru and his teammate ended up going down just one, but then Myth and Cloud cleaning up there. Nice.
Thought did just get dropped by Mitra in the meantime. We see the Storm Surge coming through, and Sakoner realizes I have to make something happen now. They know where I am. He needs to get some sort of damage in or he will be falling. Sakoner going to be coming through, 33 HP left. Kinstar gets the elimination onto Scram.
It's just all up onto Sakoner now. You saw him get beamed down right in the beginning, and Storm Surge is still active, so he's got to find something now.
Must have gotten some damage in. It looks like the Storm Surge had stopped ticking away on him. Oh, well, we're still seeing it tick in over here as we have Funk Bomb.
There, it's done now as Beehive goes down. That's the last player that needed to get down below the threshold. And now people, you immediately see as soon as Storm Surge stops, everybody relaxes.
But look at the amount of players right outside of the zone here. We have about 6, 7 players currently waiting to transition. I think 72 hours had been dropped earlier on because Chap is going to be by himself.
And Saf and Zayd also coming into this chaos here. Look at this build. This looks like 3 or 4 different build fights all coalescing into one. Nate and Funk right now in the middle of it, in the thick of it.
They do have a Rift, though. I think that was on Nate. So if they want to just disengage from this, try to go for placings a little bit more, they obviously have the opportunity to do so. Now Saf and Zayt, like you mentioned before, are going to be fighting from the hillside, trying to actually attack Nero and Tyovsky towards the high ground, which I think Nate and Funk Bomb are going to be more than happy for.
Zayt and Saf using the volcano on their back to make it so nobody could shoot them from that angle. So all they have in front of them is to look at. But I don't think they realize how many players are in there. Yeah. One of the things we talked about Nate with that Rift to go. We saw in his interview, he talks about how he is he likes to get towards endgame and then play unpredictable. And you got to be able to use that Rift to go for endgame. Otherwise, you're in such a precarious position that you get forced into do things. Jamside looking for a shot with that heavy sniper.
They got over 100 builds between the two players as well. Somehow able to maintain this kind of position of having so many late game builds as an opportunity.
They're so aggressive going for positioning here. You see it they're just building forward. They're not really covering their sides and nobody taking advantage of that, but they are going to get a position in the zone. And again, still that congestion all on the right side. Look how many players are coming right on top. This is something that you see Lolito and Isma right now taking on top of them, and then they're going to connect down just in case anybody breaks their stairs behind. This is a very common strategy. You see people are starting to knock it down, but it's, oh, actually, they need to connect a little bit more. It's just by that one stair on each side.
The thing is, I think that's what we're seeing with these volcanic vents being added into the game. They easily become these points of interest that everyone starts to fight around because it's a free rotation. It's that free escape.
It's essentially considered center zone just by itself, right? Yeah. Even if it's on the edge, you can fly into the next zone, so you basically have it. And that's why all these players are sitting around right now still. And you can see Nate says, I have enough of this. There's too many people here. I'm just going to turtle in the zone. They go first. Nope. No challenge on them. But Liquid Chap actually going in. On to Imagine.
Sakoner falls as well, I believe. It's a little bit unfortunate for him.
Chap goes down as he was playing aggressive there. And that's unfortunate for him. Demo takes him out from range. Again, so many players in Kaiser as well getting shot. I believe that's from Zayt and Saf. Yeah, it is. Imagine returning fire says, hey, stop. That's my teammate, man. That's my freaking teammate.
It's a lot of clingers, a lot of explosives being thrown in here. As you can see now, the damage is being done. Kaiser's going to be dropped about 20 HP. Now the rocket's coming back from Tyovsky. Does dislodge Zayt, and Saf are actually very, very low on HP. And they survive for now. Kaiser has gone down, and Magan, I don't know if he's going to be able to get the pickup here with clingers still being thrown. There's so much explosions going off in this area alone.
Yeah, Zayt and Saf right now. They managed to actually, you saw Imagine was taking some shots at them, and that's going to actually pay off for Zayt and Saf.
Wait, was that on top of the volcano? No. Where did that shot come from?
That was Jesse onto Tyovsky from 146 meters away. Nice shot there.
Well, next storm. Oh yeah, they were on top of a volcano. I was wondering because it looked like it came from that angle.
That's 2 elims from that position there. Demo's such a nice long-range shooter.
And we're going to have a lot of the zone over some lava too, which is going to make things very, very interesting in terms of where you're going to build Tomo and items. Someone we haven't talked about too much, at least in the last game into this one. Able to get elimination onto Tux. So Tux and Provoke going to be in a rough position now as Nero and Tyowski looking to make the move here. You can see Zayt and Saf using the launch pad to get across. They do get very far ahead of them. Tyowski actually might fall just to storm alone, but I'm imagining, yeah, actually does. I thought he was trying to heal, but he does go down.
Yeah, and now actually this flat area on the hill, somewhat of an incline, but not too deep. You can see Nero's actually using this as advantage. Everybody rotating towards the lava.
How sick is this view?
It is actually insane. But the vents are going to cause a lot of trouble. That lava as well. If you bounce on it, you do take a damage, but you do manage to bounce as well. So people are going to need to know how to deal with it. And I'm sure nobody has really had too many of these volcanic endings yet. I talked about the hill. If this starts going up the hill, it's going to be, as Stress would say, a mountain run.
Doesn't that make it more important to already have the high ground here if it does go that way because you have control of all of those buildings already?
Yep. It's not a steep incline, so it's not like Polar Peak or anything like that, but the players who are on top, he's got to be careful. That wall behind him. Okay, the players who are on top are going to be able to manage to take shots, which is exactly what Demo and Bizzle are doing. And they're doing it to such great effect. They realize the situation. If it's going up towards this mountain, I want to be up at the top. If I am not, then I'm going to be the guy taking shots. Vivid and Poach also realizing that. Nate and Funk as well. But no, the Storm Surge comes into effect, and Nate and Funk, they need to do something, and they need to do it now.
Miz might be giving them opportunity as well, because he's right around the corner for them, though I don't think he's actually going to see him there. Malon's going to take down Mushwin. You can see Demo and Bizzle just looking for an opportunity. They are above the threshold, so they're going to be fine for now. But this damage being done is really starting to punish a lot of these players.
This is what I'm talking about. Here's that half-in, half-out zone, and it's on the mountain, so these players all start to realize, oh, what the situation is. Oh, I need to get up there, otherwise I'm going to be taking shots. Saf and Zayt as well, making their way up.
I guess one of the big differences here, I guess if you compare it to Polar Peaks, yeah, the slope's a little bit different, but you can go inside here and actually not even try to take the high ground. So you can fight from 2 different angles. You can have so many battles going on, and honestly, if it does go that way, I feel bad for observers because they're going to be earning their money here today. Yeah. Jamside and SSK7 still alive, though.
Going into that volcano could be so risky. You got to definitely be careful of where the next zone goes. There, Myth and Cloud as well. So many players on your screen right now. Jesse in the background as well. He's making the run.
We're about to hit that top 25. We start getting awarded points for placements, albeit just 2 for the 25th position, but 2 points is better than no points.
Again, SSK7 and Jamside, they're making a play for high ground again every single time as the half-in, half-out zone goes. Nice shot there on the Provoke. He goes down. Camo's still up as well. I just saw him getting the elim in the feed. Airwax as well.
Zayt and Saf, I think a little bit low on material too since they've been trying to maintain this high ground for some time. You can see Demo and Bizzle going to have the ultimate high ground position for now as SSK7 and Jamside's going to have actually a hell of a fight on them with Demo and Bizzle above them. You got Iza and Camo next to them as well. Things are starting to get rough for this duo that we've been definitely keeping an eye on. One of the duos who has yet to actually take a Victory Royale.
3 more duos need to go down for the placement points to start rolling in. It's getting to that position, but no, Jamside is getting grenade launched, and that's tough for him. Spam from all sides. No, he's going to survive. He's going to get the minis off. That's so key. His teammate's still relatively healthy. No, actually, he's only at 99 or 89. So they need to do something. They need to find an elim, but Camo and Issa all the way on mid-ground there. Maybe playing for high ground. They just build up a little bit. You can see as soon as that happened, Demo and Bizzle start to react towards it. And as we see the zone, the next one is starting to move. It's going back down towards the lava. And here's the run downwards.
Demo and Bizzle running out of materials, you can see though.
Oh, who's tracking them? It's Issa and Camo. Gotta be careful, controller gang. We saw there. He actually misses the launch pad there. That's a mistake.
Actually takes an extra 10 damage from that one, but he's going to be able to take it safely. Jamside has fallen, so SSK7 going to be by himself looking to heal up somehow, maybe with some eliminations. A lot of players using this volcanic vents to actually get into the air to get that free rotate as you mentioned before, but SSK7 is going to fall, unfortunately for him, so they're going to be out of this fight. You can see Myth is going to be down at the moment, but Cloud is still there to protect him, at least to help out potentially.
Nikov getting an elim as well. And now there's so much to watch. Animal's still up. I saw Mitro just a second ago. Llama has 1 HP there getting out of zone. He's going to find one. And here, we can see the standings now. This is so important. Camo and Issa just outside of that top 10. Ooh. Oh my goodness, with the compact SMG onto Madsen, you can see the crowd is going for it. And Camo takes out. No, Jesse actually goes down the zone. I thought he got him as well. Milan and Smeef. Demo and Bizzle still containing that high ground. We saw them all the way from the beginning. That top of the volcano doing so much work, and Airwax also gets another one.
You see how many players are low on HP, though, so all these eliminations are going to be so important to heal yourself back up to survive longer. You see ESL and Camel still on the high ground fighting against Demo and Bizzle. Airwax is going to be on the low ground, as we just saw them pick up a victory before with Nikov. This is going to be crazy, as you can see now. Keyless has fallen, but Bizzle and Demo are still fighting for the high ground position. Yeah,
it's finally going away from the lava now and still fighting for high ground. Actually, they're going to lose it here. Dementos and Flexi come from somewhere else. I don't see Dementos, actually. Saf still up, Sate still up as well. They're trying to get a position in zone, trying to stay put to each other. Airwax picking up another one. One build here for Bizzle. He's going to try to find somebody. There's Smeef. He's looking for it. No, Vivid goes down. No, he actually takes Saf and...
Yeah, Poach got those 2 eliminations. He's going to fall for his own trouble as well as Vivid. A little bit unfortunate. Mitro's still going to be alive there. You can still see Airwax and Nikov still looking maybe for the first back-to-back victory royales here so far in this tournament. Demo's going to be actually dethroned from the high ground. Sky's going to fall here to Bizzle, which was a much-needed elimination. But you can see there's only 10 players left to go here.
Oh my goodness, Bizzle doing all he can with this one build. Already picking up one. He almost gets another. No, Bizzle and Demo still on height. You can see Bizzle just kind of pickaxing through all these old builds. They're leeching so well, but Smeef now on top with Milan. Yeah, 4 elims.
4 limbs. You have a lot of HP between the two as well. Demo's going to fall, or at least be knocked down for now, as they're looking to make their way through. 7 people left alive here. Milan looking for an angle. He's looking for a shot. He's just not able to get really anything going for him, as we see Blackshoe able to clean up quite a few more. Motor's going to fall. The Vic and Blackshoe going to be up against Milan and Smeef. So a 2v2 breaking down. Campfire's been thrown in as well. And you would imagine Milan and Smeef are going to drop on top of them.
The minigun coming out while Milan drops down. You got to be careful, though. It's a 2v2 still. So remember, if you do drop by yourself, you're going to be in trouble.
Let's see. Are they going to make the drop? Or are they going to hope? They get some chip damage in before. Again, the minigun coming through the builds. They can be knocked down. Here's Milan actually dropped first, but he gets the elimination. He gets the knockdown onto Vic, and that comes down to Blackshoe by himself. He somehow is actually able to take high ground here, but he's taking for damage from the story. He's going to drop in, but drop into 2 players who have him in their sights. And we will see Milan the Prodigy with Smeef, who performed so well in solos on day 1, take the victory royale.
That was definitely somewhat of a misplay there in the end game, but Milan and Smeef are able to capitalize it. The perfect opportunity. As soon as that player was going up in the air trying to take high ground from him, he actually went into zone to try to build out. They both dropped down on him and were able to get that elim and make it a 1v1 or 2v1.
And that's got to feel good, too, considering there's been a lot of pressure, at least in the eyes of Milan. This Prodigy, this young guy who just turned 16 like a week ago, able to get here into this tournament and perform. And he's been able to do it so far now, getting their first victory royale under their belts.
Yeah, they do get that first victory royale under their belts. And as you say, a lot of expectancy on such a young shoulders coming into the tournament. But he has delivered a big victory royale coming out from Milan and Smeef there. But gentlemen, I don't even think that that's the main story to talk about, to be honest with you. So much to break down from that first game. And I think we have to go right back to the beginning and what happened there.
Zextro and Vinny, one of the first eliminated. So 0 points going to be for them. Fat Fox and Aim Hero able to do probably a lot of work that people are going to be happy about. The thing is, you got to challenge these guys. You cannot let them consistently build up a lead, because they did have a 91-point lead between first and second yesterday.
Yeah, and you can see it now here on your screen, that pinch. The positional play was so good in Viking. And because they've been not on their toes, they're kind of getting put on the back foot, something that they're not expected, something that they weren't dealing with. And so a lot of players in the top 10 now are going to be very excited to see that they haven't moved at all.
Yeah, I wonder what the standings are going to be, actually. Are they going to drop out of number 1, maybe trickle down to 2, 3, or 4? I think it's very likely that actually will happen.
I didn't see any of the other top 5 or top 4 really have a great game, but guess what? Nikov and Airwax, again, had such a fantastic game.
They did, and they keep chipping away at that lead. And that's the thing. You don't have to have huge games. You just have to keep chipping away at that lead and reducing it down, and then the pressure gets turned up even more onto the leaders. And I mean, we're now in a situation where whoever's in these top 3 is going to be thinking, I hope this doesn't happen to us. If we're dropping at the moment uncontested, all of a sudden you have a couple of players dropping with you, things can change. But before we break that down anymore, gentlemen, we should go down and hear from our winners from the last game. It's Milan and Smeef.
Thanks very much, Mark. Yeah, I'm joined by Smeef and Milan here, our Game 9 victors. Guys, congratulations. What a game that was. Break it down for us. That was quite the end game with Vic and Blackstep.
Yeah. I mean, it was just minigun. Minigun, so easy.
Do you think the minigun is a key bit of loot this kind of competition?
Yeah, for sure. The minigun, when you're on high ground, they can't get close because it just holds them down easy.
We're seeing a lot of teams now, as obviously people have their particular drops where they like to go usually. At this point in the competition, do you have to change up the strategy, or do you think you keep to what you know?
I mean, in both of us, in the solos and the first round of duos, we were playing it wrong. Like our drops were fine, but we were just playing too aggressive. So now we're just avoiding all fights we can. We've rethinked our strategies, and we've got our confidence back, and we're playing well.
I've asked a lot of the players as well the last couple of days or so who they kind of are looking at across the battlefield and seeing who they are kind of like wary of and who they think are delivering a lot of this kind of tournament. Who are you kind of looking out for each time you're playing one of these rounds?
Issa and Camo for sure. Issa and Camo have pushed us twice with stink bombs and clingers, and we've died both times. So we're just staying clear of that because their aim is insane.
Well, third time's a charm. Hopefully, third time lucky. Lastly, as well, I think it was 7 eliminations with you guys, as well as the Victory Royale. You're really getting those points up now. You must feel very confident going into the rest of the competition.
Yeah, finally, because we had a rocky start, so we're finally getting our confidence back. Because we've not played much before this tournament, so now we're trying to finally get used to each other, and we're doing well. So we're happy.
Well done. One more time, guys. Give it up for Smeef and Milan. Game 9 victors. Congratulations, lads. Back to you, Mark. Great Game 9.
Thank you very much, Adam. Great to hear from those two guys there. Big performance from them, and a little bit of a sort of marker in the sand saying, you know, maybe not this tournament for us, but keep an eye on us moving forward, obviously.
I like that. I like that. I think that's important to go into like one of your first LAN events, your first tournaments, and just go there for the experience. Maybe not necessarily to win. Obviously, you want to win, right? But you need to learn how to play on a stage environment, adapt your gameplay mid-tournament as well.
Yeah, they weren't all the way in the back of the pack. They could still make their way up the standings, and they can get up into the prizing. We'll see where they end up. But actually, they were a last-minute invite, which was really important for Milan. He got that invite and invited Smeef with him. And again, they said they don't have that much experience, but it doesn't matter for them right here. They're starting to learn, and on day 2, they're here to play.
Hey, what better place to learn than on the big stage, yeah? If you're learning here, then you can learn anywhere. But two players I want to touch on as well who seem to be some of the most dangerous players in the lobby at the moment. Issa and Camo, they seem to be, I mean, yeah, I know how to use one of those. They've been so dangerous in this. In the games that we've had today, we've seen them putting up big eliminations. We've seen them disrupting a lot of places for a lot of the teams who are expected to go into that top 5, top 3. What's making them so dangerous at the moment? I mean, we're hearing it from the players themselves.
It's that aim, just like you talked about, and the fact that not only are they controller players, they have great aim, but they are so dangerous in that end game. That one that we just saw, the game 1 today, absolutely dominating in the mid-ground. That's not something you see a lot from players. You see people like Boyer go off every once in a while, but Camo and Issa just absolutely dominating from mid-ground. And here they were also high ground too. They really were fighting for it right next to Bizzle and Demo throughout that entire time.
I think we're also seeing that they're maybe one of the few duos that really practice this like super hyper-aggressive play towards the late game, even early game, just be hyper-aggressive the entire time. And we've seen people in the first game alone, they like to play a lot more passive. Like there was a lot of disengagements happening in the first game of the day, but they're all about holding that W key, hitting that plus forward, and going for the elims. And you see people kind of respecting that now, realizing, yeah, they're really good. We're going to have to actually second guess what we're doing.
Okay, then, let's talk about it. We need to talk about the drops. We need to talk about Vinny and Zextro, what's going to happen to them in this next game, because they know that they're going to be challenged at the moment. Yeah. Do they change it now, or do they go one more time and just try and win that battle?
I hope they did their research last night, because if I'm them, I don't want to be fighting every single game. I'm leaving. I'm trying to find somewhere where I don't have to fight and I don't have to take the chances, right? Those early engagements, they really are risky, right? You don't have the opportunity to get a string of elims. You only get 2 chances here. You get two people to fight. If you lose that, you got no more chances. No placement points, no elim points. I'm leaving.
You're out. He's out. What about you, Jason? Do you think it's time to change things up?
I mean, like Bala was saying, they should have changed things up last night. Like they should have been going the same spot, knowing they would be challenged out off the get-go. And the thing is, they've been so consistent at getting these top placings over the course of yesterday, and well, not so much today. I guess a little bit more of a 50-50 with today. That you need to have those games. You could not afford, with the little bit of a lead that they did have, to get caught early on.
Well, let's check out one of the stats that we have coming in here. The top eliminations from the duos, and it's the Frenchman in the middle there, Blasu, who has 22 eliminations so far, being chased down there by Jamside and Svenos as well. But lots of eliminations, and that's putting these guys into the placement points. I mean, look at Jamside. These two guys have been playing so well today, and those eliminations probably show why they are so high up the leaderboards at the moment.
Absolutely, and you see how close it is in that top of the eliminations, but guess who's up there? It's Jamside, it's SSK7, and they have the placements as well to go with it. But that's just on their own, right? That's insane. 22 elims over 8 games now, 9 games. It's crazy. That's crazy to think about. We had, at TwitchCon, Cloak was up there after 6 games. He was at something like 22 or something. But just insane. I don't know how you can get this many elims like this. It's nuts.
It is nuts, gentlemen. That is going to do it for now for our last game. Obviously, everything's still all to play for. Everything is being changed up at the moment. We have no idea who's going to be dropping where in the next game. There's only one way to find out. We're going to go for a quick break. We'll be back just after this.